What's up guys, it's UCEC Specialist, and with Battlefield 2042's latest update called Master of Arms came the new map Stranded, and it's a bit of a mixed bag.
Highly trained soldiers with no country left to fight for.
The U.S. and Russia are both being accused of fielding armed no-pats in an escalating fight over vital resources.
Battlefield 2042's newest map Stranded has some moments of greatness, but is often a mix of the worst of both large open spaces and complex interiors. In many ways, I really do love this new map, and in others, it drives me crazy. In some scenarios, it plays very much like Operation Underground from Battlefield 5, while also providing all the problems of a map like Rogue Transmission from Battlefield 4. For this little review, I feel like the best way to break it down is by the core game modes Breakthrough, Conquest, and Rush. Each provides a different experience on this map with its own set of drawbacks and compliments. So with that being said, let's jump into it. Conquest is by far the worst way to play Stranded in my opinion. While the map is focused around the central push and pull throughout the container ship, Conquest totally undermines that head-to-head battle by circumnavigating the flow with large exterior spaces that look down over the ship's entrances, the introduction of vehicles into an infantry-focused map, and a general overload of information for every player all the time. Enders put it nicely on Twitter, stating that the interior of the ship is way too complex and that the verticality often adds to the several different lanes players have to address at all times. In some ways, this map does resemble Aerodrome from Battlefield 5, but the complexity, verticality, and endless corners of the central boat can never be fully addressed or countered, unlike the simplicity of the hangar on Aerodrome. Add vehicles to the map and now you're always being attacked from behind even after you and your team were thorough during the push forward. Beloved infantry experiences from prior games like Metro or even CN Crossing allowed players to clearly push up to an objective, draw a battle line, and then search for breakout opportunities. In general, Stranded simply overwhelms the player with too much during Conquest. At any moment, you can be forced to counter half a dozen different lanes, always making sure the enemy has an opportunity to shoot you in the back or catch you out from one of the dozen angles after you've earned a hard-fought breakthrough. The head-to-head battle is often disrupted and turned circular as players climb up the ship and run across the deck, rush behind the enemy team within seconds with a vehicle, or gaggle fuck in the dozens of tiny corridors. Although Conquest on a classic map like Operation Metro may have looked chaotic, in reality a simpler map layout without vehicles like Metro allowed for a more robust flow to form, where front lines were established and momentary lapses by the enemy had to be exploited for progress instead of a cheap vehicle rush past the fight. Keeping in mind, if you rush past the interior fight, you have to then deal with all the snipers camping at the high exterior of the map, feeding off the chaos. Stranded during Conquest doesn't really know what it wants to be. It tries to offer an opportunity for all different playstyles, but often causes these battles to interfere with each other in unsatisfying ways, as snipers camp high above the fight, vehicles circumnavigate the battle lines, and the map overwhelms players with far too many lines of sight. On the other hand, if you enjoy the chaos, this map can allow a good player to make big plays. Within the chaos does lie opportunity, but often at the cost of being overwhelmed the majority of the fight. Breakthrough on Stranded I'd say is marginally better. While Breakthrough does still force players into a chaotic, complex environment, it shapes the battle into a more focused, linear push where external factors like vehicles and camping snipers are reduced. The bigger issue during Breakthrough is the verticality of the map, often forcing players to push up and down bushy hills where players become hard to see and where 64 players are forced into a single objective at a time. If you like the grind of something like 24/7 Metro and the opportunity to get behind a team and effectively swing the fight, then you'll more likely enjoy Breakthrough over Conquest. It is very much a head-to-head experience and can sometimes be too much of that. Lots of grenade spam, player collision, and wall hacks in a messy yet opportunistic fight. As narrow as the central fight is, I enjoy the interior fight much more than the exterior areas at the beginning and end of the match. These exteriors don't really have much in the way of lanes, flow, or clear visibility. They seem a little haphazard, opened, and while providing cover, don't provide much structure to the flow of the match. Now, Rush is what I believe is the best way to play Stranded, however that's not saying much because Rush is often the best way to enjoy any map because of its lower player count, fewer vehicles, and often more refined variables. But on Stranded especially, dropping the player count significantly helps this map. It forces less stimulus on the player and allows each motion through the complex interior to be more thoughtful, often countering just 1 or 2 enemies at a time, instead of spamming grenades into what could be a hallway of 10 players, like on Breakthrough. Rush, like usual, refines the experience, slows it down, and allows much more player agency, which is a nice thing on what might be Battlefield 2042's best looking map, where its small size allows for a more dense collection of assets. If you're finding that you don't really enjoy Stranded, I'd recommend you play this map on Rush. In general, the map provides some great intense infantry combat, but you need to know how far you want to dial it up. Conquest being chaos everywhere from all angles, Breakthrough being a bloody head-to-head face-off, and Rush being a more slow-paced and tactical appreciation of what this map has to offer. Overall, I think Stranded is at many times the best and worst map in this game depending on what side of the shit show you're on. I do find myself enjoying it from time to time, but a bad match on Stranded can be one of the worst experiences in Battlefield 2042, and not to mention that this game's optimization means that I have faced multiple hard crashes on this map alone over the past 2 days. But guys, drop your comments below, stay tuned and subscribe, and as always, thank you guys for watching.